Welcome again to the old principal. 我就是老校长 and this is an English instructional program. 那就是一个英语教学的一个节目。Now, in today's lesson, which will be number 12, we will talk about Christmas traditions. Christmas traditions. 在美国的一些传统。Now, every country has different traditions. 每一个文化 every culture has different traditions. So now we are going to look at some of the traditions, at least some of the traditions from long ago. What we have here is a Christmas tree. Okay, 圣诞树, okay, a Christmas tree. And you see 很多礼物在下面. Cool. Now, we will come back to that in just a moment. But before we do, we need to listen to the story as Mrs. Ash, my wife, reads the story. Try to capture in your mind what is happening. Then I will come back and we will talk about it and maybe even add some more. So I'll be back in just a moment.
Number 12, Christmas Traditions. December 25 is Christmas, and it is also America's most celebrated holiday. The majority of people focus on family traditions, large meals, shopping, and giving gifts. Our family was no different. Family members like to give gifts to each other. Of course, most parents are well enough to give several gifts to their children. Many children like to give gifts to their parents, but they lack the money to buy special things. To solve this problem, they often make their own gifts. Many families celebrate and open gifts the night before, which is Christmas Eve. Our family waited until Christmas morning. This gave Mom and Dad opportunity to do last-minute shopping and wrapping of gifts. Often they did the gift wrapping after we went to bed. Sometimes gifts placed under the Christmas tree many days before Christmas Day provoked considerable speculation. Nevertheless, some gifts were placed under the Christmas tree early to maintain Christmas spirit. A Christmas tree with no gifts under it just doesn't seem right. If Mom and Dad were not looking, sometimes we'd go shake the boxes to see if the sounds could help us to identify the contents. Having to go to bed early Christmas Eve and then being confined to our bedroom until morning was torture. Usually that was the one night my brother and I could not sleep. But I remember one Christmas we must have slept for a little while, because when we woke up it was so bright outside that we thought it was morning. We were about ready to leave the bedroom and go into the living room to look at the Christmas tree and all the gifts, when we heard a loud rumble. Where are you two going? It's the middle of the night. Go back to bed. Why had we been so confused? The full moon shone on a fresh blanket of white snow, making the world outside look like morning had already arrived.
Welcome back. Are you ready to go? I am. Here we go. December 25 is Christmas. 圣诞节. Okay? 圣诞节 is also America's most celebrated holiday. Okay? 假日. Okay? Okay. 假期. Well, I think it's 节日 maybe would be better. America's most celebrated, which means most people 庆祝. Okay, most people 庆祝 this holiday. Going on, the majority of people focus on family traditions. Every family has a different tradition. I might even mention that, but every family has different traditions. One family may have a tradition, the next family completely different. Well, part of the reason why is many people in America come from different backgrounds, 从不同的背景来的, even some from foreign countries. So everybody looks at this just a little bit different. Okay, the majority of the people focus on family traditions, 家庭的传统. Large meals, okay, 大餐, shopping, 购买礼物等等, and giving of gifts is a 互相送礼物. Our family was no different. 我们的家也不例外. So we're all the same. We have these different traditions. And I'm going to share with you some of our traditions going on. Family members like to give gifts to each other. Okay, family members, that means father, mother, children, so on, 很喜欢送礼物. Okay, this is part of the tradition. Of course, most parents are well enough to give several gifts to their children. Now, I want to spend just a second here. When we say well enough to do, what do we mean? Well enough to do. See that here it is. Well enough to do. Okay. We say well to do. Have you ever heard the term well to do? Well to do. This simply means 他家里的条件好. Well, in Chinese we would say that, or in others say they are okay 了, rich enough. 他们的钱已经够了. Okay, they are well enough to do, 足够money, okay, to give several gifts. So they don't just give one. In fact, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think almost every Christmas we got 5, 6, 7 different gifts from my parents. Well, my dad was a businessman. We were not rich, but we were not poor either. So if they were well enough to do, they'd give several gifts to their children. I think maybe 5, 6, 7 sometimes. Go ahead. Many children like to give gifts to their parents. Okay, now this is a little bit different. Many children like to give gifts to their parents, but they lack the money. 缺少什么? They don't have money. So, if you don't have money to buy things, then what can you do? No fun? Some people say no fun. Well, here's what many children do going on. To solve this problem, 解决这个问题, they often make their own gifts. 自己动手做一个礼物，造一个礼物. So that's pretty good. So many times In fact, many times I have received a picture, 画的一个图 from my children when they didn't have money. 他们还是要表示自己的心意. They want to express what's in their hearts, in their minds. They want to express their love and appreciation. They don't have the money, so what do? Well, they draw a picture. Now, sometimes I think that parents give their children some money. There are many different ways of giving them money. We call it allowance. Every week you give them something, and so they could save their money. 要保存, save their money, whatever. But most of the time, or often, they make their own gifts. Going on. Many families celebrate and open gifts the night before Christmas. Okay, 圣诞节前一个晚上, the night before Christmas, some families opened their gifts. Our family waited until Christmas morning. By the way, Christmas Eve is what? Christmas Eve is, we call it, the Chinese have a saying, it's like 平安夜. It's from the original Christmas story about Jesus. Okay, so it's called 平安夜. But Christmas Eve is the night before Christmas. Our family waited until Christmas morning. Now this created some problems, and I'll explain in this lesson the kind of problems that it created going on. This gave mom and dad an opportunity to do some last-minute shopping. What is last-minute shopping? 最后这个购物 okay, 买东西. Now, interestingly enough, it says here the last opportunity. In America, many places, radios, television, newspapers, they will have a sign, 10 days and 10 shopping days until Christmas, 9 shopping days till Christmas. 购买东西还有10天, 9天, 8天, 7天, 7, 6, 5, 4 more shopping days till Christmas. So if you're going to do a last minute, 最后是要买东西, you know how many days you have. And then, of course, Friday, the Christmas Eve, the night before, they were wrapping 包装礼物, because everything has to be wrapped. Nothing could be in its original box. They have to be wrapped up and made to look very pretty. Going on. Often, they did the gift wrapping after we went to bed. Yep. After we went to bed, 我们去睡觉的时候, 他们才开始包装礼物. They often did the gift wrapping after we went to bed. Sometimes the gifts were placed under the Christmas tree many days before Christmas Day. They provoked considerable speculation. Now, not all the gifts, but sometimes mom and dad put the gifts underneath the tree. 放在这个圣诞树下面. Why? They put it under the tree, and so for many days we could look at the gift. Okay? 引起 provoke, 引起 what? Considerable speculation. Considerable 相当多的 considerable 相当多的 speculation 猜测 to speculate is to 猜测 so these gifts were sitting there and little boys and little girls they look at the gifts and they say I wonder what that is I wonder what that is so they're thinking about what's inside there 引起相当多的猜测 going on nevertheless some gifts were placed under the Christmas tree early to maintain the Christmas spirit in fact we went and in another lesson I share about getting the Christmas tree and all of these things. We got these trees. We decorated. Put all sorts of colorful things on the trees, and then we started putting gifts under them. Okay, why would we put gifts under the Christmas tree early? 要维持圣诞节的精神 so many days before Christmas already there's a gift in fact there's a song that goes like this you better not pout no so you better not pout you better not cry and then it goes on I'm telling you why Santa Claus is coming to town. So it's like the gifts are out there and the implication, 这个暗示是if you're a good boy, 你是做好孩子, you will get more gifts. So to maintain the Christmas spirit. My guess, 我猜, that overall, 在社会上, in society, children are pretty well behaved before Christmas. 圣诞节之前, well behaved. 他们行为是好很多. They are good children because they like more gifts. Going on. Even the song we sang, I just sang, talks about that. Going on. A Christmas tree with no gifts under it just didn't seem right. 如果这个圣诞树没有在下面没有礼物, it was just not right. 不对劲. It just did not seem right. Going on. If mom and dad were not looking, sometimes we would go and 摇 the boxes to see if the sounds could help us identify the contents. Identify the contents? 能够识别鉴定里面的东西是什么. Although I often thought that mom and dad would never put a gift out there that would be very clear, a clear sound. So we would shake the boxes to see if the sound, 这个发出来的声音呢, could it help us 识别, to decide whether or not the stuff inside was what we were looking for or wanted. Go ahead. Having to go to bed early Christmas Eve and then being confined to our bedroom was torture, especially if you had to wait until morning. Let's take a look at this. Having to go to bed early, 早睡. Okay. Christmas Eve. Okay. This is 前一个晚上 okay, and being confined 限制不出来 confined to our bedroom 我们的睡房 until morning was torture 是一种折磨，是一种酷刑。How do you say torture? It was 非常难受。Why? Because we wanted to see all the gifts. We wanted to see everything. Going on. Usually, that was one night my brother and I could not sleep. 睡不着觉。Very common. That night, we couldn't sleep. 翻来翻去. We just couldn't sleep because what was happening? We were thinking about the gifts. Going on. But I remember one Christmas, we must have slept for a little while. 肯定睡了 a little bit, 睡了一段时间，我不晓得多少。But this one Christmas, I remember going on because when we woke up, it was so bright outside, we thought it was morning. Beep, beep. Now, in our little childish minds, morning, we can leave the room. So we were always looking forward to 渴望着 morning to come, 这个早晨就来到. So when we woke up, it was so bright outside. Okay, outside, 在外面，很亮，很亮。That we thought it was morning. 我们以为是早上。Going on. We were about ready. Of course, we were talking. My mom and dad's bedroom was not too far away. So we were talking. And mom and dad must have heard our voice because we were about ready to leave the bedroom, 差不多要离开睡房的时候 and go to the living room, 这个到客厅去看这个 Christmas tree and the gifts. We were just about ready to do it. And then, going on, we heard a loud rumble. 隆隆声啊. It was my father. Where are you two going? 你们两位去哪里? It's the middle of the night. 这个是半夜. Go back to bed. 回去床上睡觉. Eh? Really? But it's bright outside. Going on. Why had we been confused? 这个困惑在哪里? What confused us? What made us make the mistake? Going on. The full moon shone on a fresh blanket of white snow, making the world outside look like morning. But it wasn't morning. Morning had not arrived. Now let's go back here. Full moon. Have you ever seen a full moon? I'm sure you have. 满月,满月, full moon. What do you know about full moon? 很亮,照在地上,很亮. Okay, full moon. But on a fresh blanket of white snow, 下雪,整面,下雪. And of course, the white snow, what? The white snow reflects the light. So suddenly, everything outside looked like morning. Okay? Okay, a blanket, 一层白雪,下了一层白雪. And the world outside looked like morning had arrived. Well, my father, he helped us understand that morning hadn't arrived. So that made another exciting thing. We knew now that in the morning we would see the Christmas tree and all the gifts, and we would see snow. Now, in my home, it didn't snow too often. So, wow, 更加使我们, it made us even more unwilling and unable to sleep. But we had to stay there until my father called. 他叫我们,我们就可以出来. So, family traditions, our family tradition. We do have an email. Maybe you have a family tradition. Our email address is theoldprinciple@gmail.com. We have a website. 我们的网站是 www.theoldprinciple.org. Hey, it's been great to spend this time with you. Write to me and tell me about your Christmas traditions, if you have any. Until next time, see you later. Bye-bye.